Unified Communications is a new way to be able to find, contact and manage the communications between your customers and your colleagues, irrespective of the device you use or your location.
Unified Communications is guaranteed to cut costs. It can enhance customer service and improve productivity. At the same time, customers can help save the environment, so it's a win-win on almost every front.
Unified Communications is suitable for all sizes of business, whether you're a large multinational organisation or whether you're a small to medium-sized business.
What's more, with BT, customers don't have to junk what they've already invested in. Largely, this is just software that works with existing systems.
It's simple and intuitive, which means it's easy for people to be able to use the software and the technology, and they do this by consolidating tools such as email and voicemail into a single inbox, as well as other tools such as instant messaging, user presence information and video and web conferencing.
When you start to talk to a customer about a solution, don't go into product detail. This will just bore them to tears. Instead, have a business conversation with them and ask open questions to gain an understanding of their business and their actual requirements. You'll find every customer's got a need for unified comms. It's just finding that hook.
There's a list of questions that I tend to use when speaking to clients. Things like, how easy is it to find information when you're talking to clients? How easy is it to hand? Do you often find it difficult to contact people, or do you often play telephone tag? And ask how they operate and how they can operate remotely from their business. Another question is, how easy is it to get people together and collaborate? Do you need to engage more closely with your customers, for example, to confirm appointments? Can you do all that with a click of a mouse without wasting time or money?
If the customer rings you up and asks for a specific product, say a switch, don't just jump in and sell them that one product. Instead, have a business conversation with them and find out the compelling event behind that purchase. You'll often find that by asking open questions, you can find the hook for unified comms and create a much wider and bigger opportunity.
The customer approached us on the basis that their telephone system was now outdated and they were also moving sites. The fact that they were an organisation that held meetings or events for several different bodies meant that they had a challenge in communicating with these different entities. When we spoke about the fact that they could have the text messaging service as part of the UC functionality, they were very thrilled, and they liked the fact that they could integrate their CRM onto the system, which allowed them to understand who the callers were from the minute that they answer the calls.
I attended an appointment for a firm of solicitors called A&R Legal. They were looking to upgrade their existing telephone system. We had a discussion about what their key issues were and how they were currently communicating with one another. One of the key issues that came out is that due to the fact that they had closed offices, the receptionist was unable to see what the solicitors were doing at any given time. Therefore, I discussed unified communications with them and how maybe using Presence and IM could actually enhance the way in which they were actually working, because they were actually losing quite a lot of calls. After showing them an actual demonstration, they were very taken by it and more or less signed on the spot.
Each of those sales identified a business issue, and those business issues are sales hooks for us, and we link those sales hooks into what BT Unified Communicator can actually do for that customer.
The principle of conducting a business conversation with a larger customer versus a small one is exactly the same. Sure, they might have a more complex IT environment, a big contact centre, electronic point of sale, supply chains, value chains, whatever. But the point is, the benefits to be had from a business conversation. So keep the conversation strictly business.
Some of the questions that you would typically ask are you looking to be able to reduce costs through consolidation of some of your existing telephony environment? Do you have a large remote workforce that you are struggling to be able to get in touch with or want to communicate better, particularly if they're spread nationwide? Do you have project teams that fundamentally struggle to be able to communicate when dealing on projects, also because they're in disparate locations? Do you need to be able to reduce travel? Particularly with sustainability being such a high point at the minute, how do you actually reduce the carbon emissions through the use of things like video and web conferencing?
The ideal time to be selling unified communications is when change is happening. It might be the customers ordering standard products from BT associated with an office move, or it might be they themselves are trying to be more environmentally friendly. but the key is to broaden the conversation so it's very much business-led.
The sale that we made to Westmead Business Group was based around a UC platform that enabled the customer to look at adding flexibility to their end clients, to look at extending their portfolio. By understanding what their drivers were, first of all, we managed to actually understand where they wanted to go and what sort of clients that they wanted to attract. When we looked at unified communications as a whole, it allowed Westmead to be able to attract those clients and to bring that into their market. In turn, that meant that the end client was satisfied with the end result, and it meant that actually through word of mouth their turnover was increasing year on year.
Equinity, a financial services company, approached us about relocating the mail handling service to a new office in their Worthing campus. They had a big challenge though, because they had no idea, in amongst a very old estate of PBXs, what would be the right standard moving forward. And therefore, what we suggested was that they enhance their spend on the Microsoft desktop to include OCS for voice. Buying Microsoft Office Communicator Server has delivered presence to the desktop. Moreover, the key to the business in adopting this is that they realise that this is money that they're investing for the next 10 years, and now they're looking to roll this out within the near period throughout the whole of the company, which is over 2,000 employees and growing throughout the UK.
In effect, the sales methodology for a larger customer is no different from a smaller customer. Inevitably, there might be more complexity, but the point is we need to have those business-led conversations. Chances are you won't be closing a unified comms contract on your first appointment. The opportunity is to ensure you engage a specialist, to ensure that BT exploits its unified communications expertise to maximum effect. So ensure you have those unified communications conversations with every customer every day.